Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Rakakwadash. This your brother Ram Yahweh with the lesson. And this is you know, I want to give all shit. That was crazy. Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the brothers, the elder bishops in Connecticut, the brothers in the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, shalom. Shalom to the elect. To the brothers who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through their father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahweh with the lesson, and this is Reuters, right? Retail and customers. Retailers demand more action from EU to resolve Red Sea conflict, right? Yeah, so this is you know what I'm saying, this is London February 16th, Reuters, uh European retail industry body Aero Euro Cor Com Mer Merce. Oh. Yeah, so it says London February 16th, Reuters, European retail industry body Euro Commerce called on European Union institutions and member states to resolve the Red Sea crisis that has disrupted trade, saying in a letter to Belgium's foreign minister that it has already had massive impact on business. Shopping companies having re react re 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 okay, yeah, that says shopping companies have rerouted container vessels away from Red Sea to avoid Houthi militant attacks that have multiple multiplied since early December, disrupting supply chains for firm reliant on the Suez Canal to get products from Asia to Europe, which basically Europe is the bottomless pit. So you have to get supplies to Europe, right? It's not just America that makes them a lot of money. Europe makes Asia an awful lot of money. Yeah, so this is Isaiah 23 and 9 says Yahweh of hosts have purposed it to stain the pride of all glory and to bring it to contempt, right? All the honorable of the earth, right? So the Lord is basically uh, staining the pride of the Western power, but namely what America, right? And the how you know it's namely America is it's going to say what? Pass through thy land as a river, O daughter, O daughter of what? Of Tarshish, right? And Tarshish was a great merchant city. It was basically good for no trades, goods, trading, doing all this type of things. Making a lot of money, or making other people money, right? But it was a great merchant city, which that's America, and the West just in general, right? Because you see how I was saying that they was trying to get the products from China to Europe. So Europe is a big thing too. But the biggest is what? America. That's why it's the daughter of Tarshish, and there is no more strength, right? And we're gonna show you right real quick why there's no more strength in America, right? And it's the Lord said staining the pride, right? And one of the prides of America was what? Being the richest country in the world at one point in time. We're the richest country in the world. We're the richest country in the world. Hey, but where are you today? Yeah, so this is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Iraq Eye News, right? Which is Baghdad, right? And it's saying that Kuwait's central bank sells over 1 billion in 1 week. And what did they sell? Right? It says Baghdad, Kuwait, iNews.com over the 1 week, the central bank of Kuwait, the CBI of sold more than 1 billion worth of US currency. So that's the staining of their pride. All that, the wealth, the money, and just how all these other nations looked up to America like it was the greatest thing ever, right? Since sliced bread, right? And now it's a staining to them that these people are just saying, "Hey, look, we don't want nothing to do with their money. We don't even want to use their currency. We're stepping away from it. So we're gonna sell off a billion worth of their currency. We don't want it no more. So that's a staining to you, right? It says higher than the previous week when it sales were at approximately 825.5 million, according to, was it Shafakar News, right? So I mean, you get the gist of it. I mean, if you want, you can just look it up for yourself. You know what I mean? Go into it a little bit more. It says while cash sales were done at an exchange rate of 1,310 Iraq dinars. I don't know what he said. Dinars. The Central Bank of Kuwait supporting the U.S. dollar for letters of credit and international settlement for debt and credit cards at a rate of 1,000 denaros, however you say that. But it ain't looking good though at the end of the day, right? Because that's basically a staining to America, right? He let's go back right here. So it's Isaiah chapter 23 and 11. He stretcheth out his hand, and that he is who? The Most High, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. He stretches out his hand over the sea. He shook the kingdoms, see? And right now, because of that, the kingdoms of the earth, they're dumping the dollar. It's a stain towards America. And then it's making a contempt against them, right? Against the kings. That's why he's shaking up the kings, right? All these different so-called rulers are considered kings, right? And then up here it says the contempt of all the honorable of the earth, right? And honorable goes into these being what kings, basically, kings and nobles and all the other stuff, right? So let's look up the word contempt. Yeah, so it says contempt.
Contempt.
A feeling that a person or a thing in money is a thing, right? Is beneath consideration, worth, right? The money don't have the worth that it had before. Or disservicing, right? It's disservicing. It's not gonna service you the right way, that the money don't have the value that it used to have, right? Or scorn. So now, the nations are laughing at America, man. Right? The money's weakening. They're starting to get a nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles themselves. So the Lord said, "Let the weak say I'm strong," and they see that your dollar's falling, and we got nukes too. They're scorning. They're laughing at you. Like, man, whatever, man. It don't mean a thing no more now, right? Scorning at you, right? Yeah. Look at this. It says right here, disrespect.
Disrespect.
Hey, that's a big thing between us so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The first thing we say, hey man, don't disrespect me. And so ultimately, that's what they're doing, man. This is causing what a beef, man. This is causing a thing called World War III, man. Right? Yeah, I like this right here. It says right here. If you look right here, it says disregard for something that should be taken into account. So like, America's this, they do got a pretty good military, right? So it's something that probably should be taken into account. In account, yeah, the money's depreciating, but I mean, America's still like the 11th or 12th, maybe 14, 15 richest countries in the world. So it's not like they're all the way at the bottom. You know what I mean? So, to just dump off that amount of money I mean, it ain't that bad. But you know, of course, it's all an agenda behind what they're doing. They have to do that because it's the world currency. In order to switch everything over to the digital currency, pretty much all these countries have to play this game in order to bring in the new world order, to bring in the digital all, to bring in the charagma, man. Right? They all have to play this game, but hey, they're gonna play a deadly game, and they're gonna lose, man, because all of them are gonna end up fighting in World War III. Right? And then it's gonna bring in who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which his real name is Yahweh Shai, and bring their little fiasco, their BS to an end. Yeah, so the Lord's basically shaking this thing up that these other kingdoms are showing disrespect to the dollar, man. Right? Where you got the BRICS, right? I think Kuwait became part of the BRICS, right? So you got, you know what I mean? I believe that Kuwait became part of the BRICS. So now they're trying to dump the dollar, right? And that's showing a disrespect towards the dollar. So and then you got a number of countries that's behind the BRICS. So these countries will be considered having what, kings? You know, when you got, what is it, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, right? These all have kings. And then now they put the S for South Africa, which makes it, instead of being BRIC, it's called the BRICS now because of South Africa. And now you got, I believe you got the Kuwait that's in there, and you got what is it, the Ethiopians and Somalians, which I believe Ethiopians and Somalians are very closely related. If they're not the same people, they're very closely related. So, you know, so there you go, right? Which those Somalians, matter of fact, it goes deeper, because when you go into those Somalians, because they were saying that they're helping too, as far as the fight in the Suez Canal of shooting those ships, those vessels. So it says Yahweh have given a commandment against the merchant city, which is mostly talking about America, but the Europe, the EU, that's a merchant city too. But the main merchant city is America, right? Because that's why America's over there helping them to do the fight, right? To destroy the strongholds thereof, right? See? And part of a stronghold is that Suez Canal. That was a stronghold you had, you know. You cut through there and get it over there, make your money, do your thing. Israel's right next to the Suez Canal. So these are your so-called allies and things that's right there. So the Lord said, "Hey, nah, I'm gonna shake up your strongholds." Right? So now they're trying to put in more military people, and then they're calling it a crisis, right? On top of it. So they saying somebody need to do something about this, because it's a crisis, right? It says, and he said, right? Who said? The Most High, Yahweh. And he said, thus shall no more rejoice, thus oppressed virgin, daughter of Zidon, right? This is the Hamites, some Africans, which goes back to the what they call, the Sudan, or the Somalians. Yeah, Somalians. Those go back to those Somalians, which goes into what they call in Greek Phoenicians, right? Arise and pass over to Chectum. There also shall thus have no rest. So these things are happening, and it's disrupting everybody, even the local people. So they ain't liking it. So now they're into the fight, and they're fighting against America. They're fighting against Europe, right? Because they said they're gonna strike every vessel that has any ties with Israel or Europe or US, right? Yeah, so this says Al Jazeera. It says yeah, because this that the Houthis news Houthis says U.S. says Somalian pirates likely behind attempted tanker se- seizure near Yemen, right? So the Pentagon has said that the attempted hijack was likely the work of the Somalian pirates rather than the Houthi fighters, right? Which they're still helping, you know what I mean? They're kind of still doing a thing, or maybe they're not related, or they're not in cahoots, but it's still it's the Lord shaking everything up against them, because you know what I mean. Um, so the United States has said that the group that a group of attackers who tried to seize an Israel uh, linked cargo ship over the weekend were probably Somalian pirates rather than Houthi fighters from nearby Yemen. Yeah, which I think I seen another article where they said they were gonna attack. I was trying to look for it, but they said they're gonna attack anything that's linked with with Israel. So that they already said that they were anything linked with Israel, the U.S. or Europe, right? Just in general, you know, the so-called Western powers, right? Speaking on Monday, the Pentagon spokesman. Yeah, spokesman Brigadier General Patrick Ryder noted that the U.S. has not ruled out a Houthi connection to the attempted hijacking by 5 armed men over the weekend. Right now, this is Isaiah 23:11, the same verse that we're reading. It says, "And Yahweh has stretched out His hand over the sea and made the kingdoms tremble. He has given an order according considering Salakia, considering Phoenicia that her fortresses be destroyed." Right, and that's what I was talking about. Those Somalians, right, goes back to Phoenicians, right, and it also says pretty much the same thing, and it says concerning the Canaan, right, which those are Canaanites, right. So you have to ask yourself, why in the world do they call us Canaanites, right? We don't look nothing like those Somalian people. Yeah, this is fact index index.com, factsindex.com. right? It says Phoenician, right? And then right here, I'm trying to enlarge it a little bit. This is the fucking bitch. Yeah, so this is factindact.com, right? It's about the Phoenicians, you know. Scholarship has led to confusion of the Phoenicians with 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 Canaanites of the land they occupy. So a couple scholars have confusions over the consequently most that may be read about them may not actually refer to the Phoenician themselves, rather to the people who inhabit Canaanite coast, which they that read. Okay, well, as things you so-called read and whatever, right? But when we go to the actual themselves, the people themselves is something different. You know what I'm saying? Because it says the origin, the Libyans motif, or Libyans or Liberians, and even some Somalians, right? You had the Somalian pirates, still consider themselves descendant of Phoenicians, along with certain other island folks in the Mediterranean, right? So that's basically saying, they consider themselves to be Phoenician, right? That Yeah, so this is factindact.com. It says Phoenician, right? Because it was reading that verse, Phoenician. So it says readers are conditioned to approach this entire approach this in try entry. It's like an entry and try with the observe and compare the current text with supported information in the page. Okay. It says less than precise scholars has led to the confusion of the Phoenicians with Canaanites. Of the land they occupy. Consequently, much that may be read about them may be actually referring to the Phoenician conquerors themselves rather to the people who inhabited the 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 Canaanite coast, which they conquered, right? Yeah, so they're trying to say that the Phoenicians, I don't know, it's saying the Phoenicians conquered the the Canaanite land, and it's really talking about well, we know the Phoenicians have to be Hamitic, so regardless of what they're trying to say, we know that the Phoenicians are Hamitic because the only other conquerors of that land will be the Israelites, and there's no way that the Israelites are Phoenician, right? So I don't understand what he's talking about. Not unless you're talking about the Greeks when the Greeks conquered, right? Because the only other conquerors besides Israel would be the Greeks. But we know that the Phoenicians are Hamitic, right? So it says the origin of the Libyans, Maltese, Liberias, and even some of the Somalians. Right? This is basically what I was getting at. Still consider themselves descendants of the Phoenicians. So these people consider themselves, and they know their own history, right? And I would say that Somalians have been in that area, so called, Africa, going into what they want to call the Middle East for quite some time, right? I would say that a lot of the people from Libya, Liberia, Libya, all that, they live like kind of within that area. They probably been there for quite some time, right? Because they consider themselves descendants of the Phoenicians, along with certain other island folk in the Mediterranean. Consequently, enough oral tradition is fairly constant, but none more than traditions that the Phoenicians were not indigenous to the area, which there's no thing that says that they're not indigenous to that area. That don't make sense, right? But this is what they're saying on this. But it says area where they flourished are the Egyptian records Herodotus, Herodias, right? Which he's not an actual Egyptian. Herodias or whatever, Herodias or Herodias, right? Which is the Edomite. That's when the Edomites came. They're the only nation that's not dark. Edom. They're the only nation that don't have a lot of hue, right? You may have a little bit, they have a little hue, but most of their hue or color, it's not in them, right? They don't have a lot. They have very little, right? That's why their blood show forth through their skin, and that's why they're the original red man, right? Original criminal of the earth, right? Right, going into crimson, criminal, crimson, going into crime, right? So we're not gonna believe all that, but the main part I was trying to get is these Somalians still consider themselves, right here it says Somalians consider themselves descendants of the Phoenicians, and then the Phoenicians go back into the Canaanites, right? Right, right, and the Phoenician goes basically they're Canaanites, which even the it said that Somalians consider themselves Phoenician, the descendants of the Phoenicians, right? So even in that, they know, instead of calling you as a so-called African American Canaanites, which we don't look like Somalians, right? There might be a little similarity a little bit to the Ethiopians, but when you really look closely, we don't really look like the Ethiopians either, like that. They may go from light to dark, like how we do, but that's about it. We don't look like those people, right? The Ethiopians and the Somalians look alike. They're related. Those are Hamitic people, right? So that's why it's saying the old virgin daughter of the Zidon, right, which goes into Phoenician, which goes into basically being a Somalian people. So now they all in that fight. Arise, right, over Chetam, right? See, they say arise. The Lord saying, get up, get out, and check them. There also shall thus have no rest, right? Go out there and hey, tear these American vessels and these vessels that's joint to Israel or the Israelis. Yeah, go ahead and get at them. Behold, the land of the Chaldeans, right? Which that's synonymous with America, even though that's you would say that that's what's called, but this is the America's the daughter of Babylon, right along that it's the daughter of Tarshish, right? Because it's referring to the behavior of America, and America's behavior is like the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans went into a lot of what witchcraft, right? Which is the Babylonians and the Chaldeans were interconnected. The Babylonians used the Chaldeans witchcraft, right? And that's America. This people who these people was not till the Assyrians says and this people was not till the Assyrians founded it for them that dwell in the wilderness, right? They set up the towers thereof, they rose up the places thereof, and he brought it to ruin. It says, how ye ships, right? Ye ships of Tarshish, right? Dealing with, like I said, dealing with the Great Britain, dealing with America, dealing with the so-called Israelis, the Jewish, right? They said that how ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste. And see, that's what's happening. The Lord is raising up these other people, the Houthis and the Hamas, and now the Somalian pirates. That's basically the Phoenicians, right? And I shall come, and it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 7 years, according to the day of one king, another the end of 70 years shall Tyre sing as in whore or harlot. It's like it, whore, harlot, harlot. Take in harp and go about, right? Because the harlot city is what America, right? Main place, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. But it's going into how these other countries they took part in it, in all these different things of America. Take harp, go about the city, thus harlot that has been forgotten. See, make sweet the melody, sing many songs, that thus may it be remembered, right? So now these Somalians, they're rising up, they're fighting. Hey, they're gonna say, hey, look, hey, don't forget about us, right? It says, and it shall come to pass after the end of 70 years that Yahweh will visit Tyre, and she shall turn to her hire, right? And who's been hiring these? You deal with these Edomites, man. They've been you know putting their money everywhere. They've been doing certain things, you know. Hey, and now the whole world is turning against Esau. Now the whole world's turning against America. Now the whole world's turning against Israel, man, or the Israelis, right? Turn towards her hire, right? And she shall commit fornication with the kingdoms of the world. She shall, commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth, right? See, and that's all these places that, you know, they were trading goods. They're doing all these different things, and you know, it was good. Why the money was going good, and now they're fighting in these you know over being able to trade goods, right? Because they're gonna end up having to cancel out the dollar to bring in the digital dollar, which the whole world is gonna fall under that, right? They're gonna fall under the conditions of having the digital dollar, right? The one world dollar, the one world universal basic income. And her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness, holiness to Yahweh, and it shall not be treasured nor laid up for her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before Yahweh and eat sufficiently, and for was it dur, dur, durable clothing. Right? So, hey, basically all this is gonna, is gonna turn into, um, for the elect, man. Right? Those that dwell, because the only one who's gonna dwell before the Most High is the elect, man. Right? Yeah. So it's and come back right here to Isaiah chapter 23 and 12, and he said thus, right, and he is the Most High, said, thus shall no more rejoice, O thus oppressing virgin, daughter of Zidon, right, which goes into what it being what Phoenicians and the Somalians consider themselves what descendants of the Phoenicians, right? So this goes into them Somalians. Arise, pass over, check them. There also shall thus have no rest, right? So they're gonna raise up against these American and Jewish or Israeli, what is it, or European a allies basically against their vessels, right? And they're gonna have no rest, and they ain't gonna give them no rest, man. They're gonna keep coming at them. Behold, the land of Chaldeans, right, which is America, right? America is synonymous with the Chaldeans also, right? The daughter of Babylon, which is like they're the daughter of um of Tarshish, right? They're the daughter of Babylon, which the Chaldeans were would did the witchcraft or you know you know amongst Babylon. So that's America. America does a lot of witchcraft, underhanded things, right? Daughter of Babylon, the Chaldeans. This people who was not till the Assyrians founded for them, that dwelt in the wilderness. They set up the towers thereof. They rose up the places, or is it palaces? Palaces. No, places, like yeah. Places. They rose up the places thereof, Salakia, and he brought it to ruin, right? Okay, see, the Most High is going to bring all your places, your palaces, whatever you have, your commerce, your basically you're the city, the merchant city. So all that stuff is being brought to ruin. How ye ships of Tarshish, right, dealing with America, because they're howling, and which is going to bring in the famine, right, the actual famine, right along with the famine of the word, because they're talking about cutting down a lot of the cutting lines that go through a river or a lake or something like that. One of the brothers was going through that. They were talking about, cyber attacks, this and that and another, of or the sun, solar flares may knock it out. They're giving up a lot of different scenarios of how you're not gonna have internet, but this is just plain in front of your face of how you're not gonna have food. You're not gonna have the things that you need, right? Everybody was worried about toilet paper. Yeah, you're not gonna have toilet paper either. You're gonna not have a lot of things. It says, "How ye ships of Tarshish, for your strength is laid waste," man. And so that's a lot of the strength of America, is that being able to trade goods, and then that trading, it keeps the money, strengthens the dollar, right? Keeps the dollar strong. Besides, the military, but even then, these other countries are coming with a nice military themselves, coming with ICBM missiles themselves. The weak is saying they're strong now, getting their dollars strong, getting their military strong, right? Russia's backing them, China's backing them. Hey, that's why South Africa took Israel to the highest court in the world. Took them to the world court for what do you call it, and saying that they're committing genocide. So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder bishops in Connecticut, the brothers in the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Shalom and a Baba Ball.